You're listening to Audiology. Support this channel by becoming a member and be sure to submit your requests for topics in the comments below. Last year, Eugene Debs found himself in the spotlight during his federal court trial in Cleveland. In response, the Socialist Party, led by Charles Ruthenberg, decided to stage a march. This wasn't just any march, though. It had a dual purpose: to speak out against Debs' imprisonment and to boost Ruthenberg's campaign for mayor of Cleveland. Picture this march with 32 separate groups organized into 4 distinct units, each one proudly carrying both a socialist and an American flag at its forefront. What exactly sparked the ensuing riot remains a matter of debate, but a recurring theme was the tense standoff between the marchers and law enforcement, with officials repeatedly demanding the protesters hand over their flags, a request that proved to be the tipping point. The Cleveland chapter of the Socialist Party was known for its fierce stance, far more radical than its counterpart across the Midwest. The city's political gatekeepers worked hard to keep the burgeoning Cleveland Socialist Party from gaining any real traction, a move that only fueled more anger and radicalism within the party ranks. Cleveland was a bustling industrial hub, home to a vast population of blue-collar workers, many of whom were either immigrants or children of immigrants. This demographic found a strong ally in the Socialist Party and its left-leaning ideology. Ruthenberg, leveraging his popularity, had thrown his hat in the ring for mayor back in 1917, securing nearly 30% of the vote, a testament to his significant support base. The Cleveland Bicentennial Commission informs us about a series of violent incidents that occurred as individuals were marching toward Cleveland's public square. A group known for supporting the Victory Liberty Loan interrupted one of the marching units on Superior Avenue. They demanded the marchers lower their flags. An Army lieutenant, followed by soldiers, also demanded the removal of their flags. When the marchers refused, the lieutenant ordered his soldiers to charge, initiating a large-scale brawl. To attempt to manage the situation, reserve police mounted on horseback were summoned. They entered the crowd, swinging their clubs without restraint, causing serious injuries to more than 20 participants. Ambulances were called from nearby hospitals to care for the many injured. Shortly after resolving the initial chaos, another riot broke out in the downtown area, precisely in Public Square, during a speech by former Treasury Secretary William Gibbs McAdoo at a Victory Loan rally at Keith's Hippodrome. Once again, an Army lieutenant demanded that socialists move away from a speaking platform. When his commands were disregarded, he ordered his forces, including mounted police and Army tanks, to advance, leading to 70 arrests, with those individuals being transported to the Central Police Station. A third confrontation occurred later on Euclid Avenue, a principal shopping district. That evening, the Socialist Party's office on Prospect Avenue, led by Ruthenberg, was aggressively taken over by soldiers, police, and armed civilians. They vandalized the premises, hurling typewriters and furniture into the street. The day's disturbances concluded with the adversaries of the socialists collecting many red flags and banners they had confiscated and burning them in a large bonfire at the Soldiers and Sailors Monument in Public Square. In an intense response to the protests, the police brought in horses, army trucks, and even tanks. The aftermath was serious. 2 people lost their lives, 40 were injured, and 116 ended up arrested, with Ruthenberg, one of the protesters, being accused of assault with intent to kill. Interestingly, the local news highlighted that out of those arrested, only 8 were actually born in the United States. In a swift move to prevent further unrest, the city officials put new rules in place that would make it harder to hold parades and display red flags. This event is often referred to as the peak of violence among a series of disturbances across the country triggered by the first Red Scare. However, this narrative isn't universally accepted. In The New Solidarity, a publication by the industrial workers of the world, a different story is presented. They argue that those who gathered to celebrate May Day weren't breaking any laws and didn't do anything to spark a riot. They blame the confrontational police approach on an order from Cleveland's Republican mayor at the time, Harry L. Davis, who had directed the police to deal decisively and strictly with any lawbreaking. According to them, the real trouble started when police and some self-proclaimed patriots agitated the crowd, which led to chaos but not an actual riot. They go on to say that this chaos was used as a pretext by the police to intervene and curb what they viewed as disorder, employing mounted units and even German tanks, leftovers from World War I, without regard for the presence of women and children. The article concludes by stating that the tragic outcomes of death and injury were mainly because of the police's actions to disperse the crowd, noting that a total of 130 people were either fined or sentenced. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more content.